So when you talk about mental slavery in the
Mm-hmm.
African setting, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think I have an understanding of it. But what I always try to do is to interrogate conviction, right? There's a mix up sometimes that people have where we mix African culture with African traditional religion,
True.
right? And then when people want to defend the African culture, or when people think they are defending the African culture, they go to the other extreme by saying that the white people or the foreigners brought brought their religion and they used it to enslave our minds,
Mm-hmm.
right? In essence, I think that religion should be practiced, or actually, ideally, is practiced in the context of the culture of the people. That is why I'm a Christian, so I'll make that reference.
Mm-hmm.
When Paul was writing to the churches, he was writing to those churches. There's the church in Ephesus, the church in Corinth. He was writing to them based on the peculiarity of the church, the prevailing circumstance, and the culture of the people. Do you get? Now, so the people who brought this religion to us, the ones who brought Christianity, are mostly, they speak mostly English or Italian or Portuguese, as the case may be. And
Right.
so they taught us their language so that we can understand what they want to tell us, what they want to teach us. Do you get? And in the African setting, if as a Yoruba person I decide to be dressing only in Ashoke, I am not less of a Christian than somebody who is wearing suit and tie.
Right.
Do you understand? Because suit and tie is not the cultural dressing of an African person.
Yes.
I'm an Igbo person. In the Igbo religion, in Igbo cosmology, is what's called Chi, which is what we call guardian angel.
Mm.
Chi means that everybody, it's believed that everybody has a God
Right.
that guides him or her.
Right.
And then there is Chukwu, the Almighty
See.
God.
Mm.
So we believe that there are smaller gods for and
Yeah,
then there's the
demigods, I guess. So what do you
Almighty,
call it?
and then there's the Almighty. So when
Which
you
is the
talk about,
supreme being.
yes, which is the supreme being that is supreme to everyone. So when you talk about the mental slavery angle to it, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, from everything you just said, I feel like you've actually explained it, right? Take for instance, you are a pastor, like you said earlier, right? You are a pastor, and you are expected to dress a certain way because, I mean, you are a pastor. You
Yeah.
expect to probably wear, you're expected to wear a casual outfit, or you're supposed to dress formally because, I mean, you are a pastor. And if you are the kind of person that decide to actually dress in your traditional attire, take for instance, maybe, see, for we Yorubas, we can actually still dress in agbada and go on the altar, and people will
I
say,
see that.
but as an Igbo person, I'm going to use Igbo as an example, because your traditional attire is actually in red. And there's this popular this thing that people attribute that color red to, I mean, all this diabolical and all this ritual.
Yeah, but the Pope wears the red.
I mean, but I'm talking about the general belief that we have right now. People actually, in most cases, right? People okay. Let me give you an example now. You have a particular red fabric, right? Don't you see that people do it? That they would write somewhere and say, urinate here and die. They will not tie a red cloth there.
Yeah, but is it their fault? In fact,
there might not be. There might nothing might actually be there.
Yeah.
But they believe that red cloth there will actually scare you. And don't lie.
Yeah.
When you actually see it, doesn't it come to your mind that if I go and make that mistake?
People that use that the red
that's why
thing, is it not the African traditional religion people that use?
But wait,
those red connotations.
No, but that's the thing.
Because
anybody can wear red.
It doesn't mean
Look
danger.
at my nails. My nails are red. Anybody can wear red. But right now, people actually attribute that to, okay, maybe like the example that I gave. You tie a red cloth from this place to this place, and you write something. Do not urinate here. The first thing that comes, you are scared, and actually, it's just a fabric. But because it's there, it's registered in your mind that what if this thing is true?
Yeah.
That is it. they've registered it that, okay, this particular color or this particular color of clothing is actually for this set of people. So now imagine that as an Igbo person, you're wearing a red cap. It's different. You're saying the Pope wears red. Imagine you are Igbo. You wear, you know how you people dress. You wear a red cap.
Yeah.
You put that feather there, like for if you are a chief.
Yeah.
You carry that. What do they call the staff? You are wearing that. I don't know what it was called.
It's called
Ishiagu, and it's like red and black. Then you wear whatever it is that you want to wear under. Then they see you and they feel like that you come on the altar, and they are saying, people will look at you like, are you not supposed to know that I'm not supposed to wear this? Why can't I wear that? Why can't I wear a clothes that's for we Igbos? Why must I wear suit and tie? Why must I wear a casual clothing? That's mental slavery. Because you feel like that is the appropriate thing to do, and that is you actually accepting that these people are superior. Right. So until we feel like, oh, we've been liberated, oh, right now we know who we are as Africans, but actually we do not really know who we are as Africans. We are yet to come out of it. There are still certain things that we need to look into.
So what do you think we need to look into as Africans?
Like I said,
what do you think we are?
I'm one person that I'm very cultural. Now, I did not say I'm traditional. I said I'm very cultural. So sometimes I listen to a lot of traditional music because I like things. See, we live in a very... That's why I said I'm not really into social media. We live in a society that can easily corrupt your mind if you are not careful and if you do not have a mind of your own. Right. So sometimes I tend to resort to some cultural music that actually takes me back. Right. And make me understand that no, do not live where you are. This is who you are. So sometimes I listen to Beautiful Nubia. I listen to, you might not know some of these artists that I would mention, but I tend to listen to some cultural music. And from some of the music,
I might know.
Yeah, from some of the music I've actually listened to from Beautiful Nubia, I've noticed that a lot of things that he actually says resonates with me. And I watched one of his interviews and he said, oh, it's not about this politics is bad. It's not about this is bad. It's about how do we make a change? And I ask myself, how do we make a change? It's difficult for us right now to actually make that change. We can have an impact in that change, but we might not be able to change it. But we have some set of people that can actually change. We say, children are how do they say that thing again?
Children are the leaders of
tomorrow. So if we actually start from the root, if we start from these children and make them understand that, hey, this is who you are. And I told myself I was going to work on something, but I'm trying to get a team to actually do that. I said there should be something we should have in Nigeria. We should actually have a national cultural day, and we graduate if possible. We can now graduate to actually making it an African thing, a place where we can get to know ourselves as Africans. A place where we can know because the truth of the matter, until you know who you are, right, you keep getting confused. You keep falling for everything. So you need to know who you are. You need to know yourself. You need to have an identity.
I like when you said we should start from the root and start from the children, right? Because again, it's been said that family is the smallest unit and everything begins from there.
Right.
But what should we be telling the children?
Now, it's not like you have something. Now, there should be a strategy to it. Right. I feel like you can actually, you don't even have to, it starts from family, but we have schools. And if you are going, take for instance, if this is supposed to be like a policy for an example, you're actually going to start with schools. And how do you start with schools? Normally, schools will have cultural days, right? Okay, cultural. How about you go about it in such a way that you start this thing and say, oh, like for instance, a national cultural day, and I don't know how many schools we have in Lagos, but let's say we have like 1,000 schools, and now it's like a competition, and you say, okay, out of this 1,000 schools, how many cultures or how many language do we actually have in Nigeria, for example? Now, you pick it, or how many is it tribe, ethnic groups or tribe or whatever it is they call it? How many do we have in Nigeria? Now, because all we only know of 3.
Well, they
That's
say the
Yoruba.
3 major
Yeah,
Igbo
major. But actually, there are so many that I don't even know. I think we have like about 200. I don't know if it's 256 or how many.
But but sorry, yeah. The National Cultural Day is an event.
Yeah, it will be
Right?
an event.
It
Yeah,
would be an event.
where they learn about
But
themselves.
I'm
Where
saying
everybody.
that if you have your way, right, with this concept you're talking about, knowing who we are. Because if I meet somebody, I grew up in the north, right? Somebody from Plateau
Let's
State.
understand that this is still within the context of mental slavery.
Exactly. Somebody from Plateau State,
Yes.
right? A child from Plateau State actually knows their tribe. They know their ethnicity, right? So if you're talking about teaching the children to really know who you are, I know that what you mean is the in-depth aspect of their identity.
Yes.
Now, having a cultural day, yeah, it's an event, it can be a fanfare and all of that. On a one-on-one basis, say you have an opportunity, maybe a school, or you have access to children, what precisely do you think they need to know? So as in that would help guide their knowledge of the identity of who they are beyond saying, I'm a Yoruba boy, I'm an Igbo boy. Do you understand? I know that you cannot teach you are Yoruba, you can't teach an Igbo person their deep cultural identity.
Yeah, it's basically just research.
Yes. So, but the generic aspect of what mindsets do you think a Nigerian child should have to be able to not grow up carrying on with the mental slavery that you're referring to? Do you get
Can you
that?
come again? I didn't know. I didn't get that.
What do you think an African child or a Nigerian child should be exposed to so that he doesn't grow up or he or she does not grow up with the mental slavery that you're referring to, thinking that the other people are better than us?
No, I really think that it's not something I can do all by myself and say, okay, if I'm going to tell you this, I can't do that. Right? It's a process.
So because the reason I'm asking, the reason I'm asking that we're having a conversation now,
Yeah.
I would have a takeaway. For example, here's my own part. People allude intelligence to your ability to speak English very well.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, if you ask me the same question, I would say that the children need to understand what the true meaning of intelligence is and brilliance. Now, on a general level in Nigeria, most kids are either Christians or Muslims because they either grow up in a Christian or Muslim homes. So they take sides. Now, some people grow up in Christian homes, and then so because of that they are Christian. And then some people grow up in Christian homes and then have their own personal experiences and encounters that had made them understand what it means to be a Christian. That's my case. In this instance, I'm not a Christian because I grew up in a Christian home. At this point, I'm a Christian because I now have my own personal conviction about it. So it's okay that kids will grow up mirroring the convictions of their parents because that's background, that's how they are raised.
Yeah, that I feel like that's part of the things I was trying to explain when it comes to if they are going to make this a thing or it's going to be a policy. Now, it's not like you're just teaching the kids alone if you're going to go through the route of schools. Because at the end of the day, everything still boils down to research. You have to research to actually get these informations. Now, how a child who is just like 8 years old will not do that research by herself or by himself. That child will need the help of his or her parents or guardian.
So what should the parents know?
Now, while you are doing that with your child, you are actually learning about these things that you don't know. You are getting insights about these things that you do not know. So it's not just your child now. It is you and your child learning and getting insight about these things. Now, it now happens to be that different families are being given this task because from their school, they've assigned that this particular school will be representing this particular ethnic group or this particular tribe. And now they will pick certain people from that school that will be representing them on that day to actually learn that. Now, they're not doing it alone, they're doing it with their family. Because they actually want to come out and they want their family to be proud of them. They want anyone who would watch them on that particular stage say, oh, I'm proud of you. So they will channel their energy into it that, okay, this is that. Before you know, they start practicing. And once you start practicing, before you know, it becomes a part of you. Right?
True.
Now, you have different children do that. This child from, say, Lagos, one school, like a particular school might come from Lagos, another school might come from anywhere else.
Yeah.
You understand? So, let's say this particular school now, right? You have to learn about the Ibibius. Now, everybody around you that might want to help you with this might actually learn one or two things about the Ibibius. It's just like an assignment. Okay, take for instance, I was doing one of my assignments in school one time, and I got to realize I never knew that they did not really colonize Ethiopia.
Oh, yeah, but they didn't.
I didn't know that. It was when I was doing that. Now, because I was given that assignment and I was doing my research, I actually found that now I know it and it's with me.
But is Ethiopia now better than the other countries that were colonized?
No, I'm not. Because I really don't know much about Ethiopia, so I can't speak.
Okay.
I can't speak for them, or I can't
from
speak
your
about
research,
them.
is there anything
I didn't
that
really go
suggests-
deep. I didn't really go deep into it. It was just something I just saw, and I'm like,
But do you
this
think
is nice.
colonization was a very bad thing?
Now, just like in secondary school, they will teach you the disadvantage of colonization and disadvantages. Yes. So I would not say it's entirely a bad thing, and I wouldn't say so. It has, it's like it really did us dirty, and at the same time it did us good.
So
Because
did it do us
we-
more
Because we,
bad than good?
yes, I think it did us more bad than
What
good.
did we gain from colonization?
I think the only thing we gain from colonization is probably exposure.
Exposure to what?
Exposure to how am I? Because I feel like I don't know, but I think there's a possibility that if we're not colonized, we might not really know much about like the Western world, how it works, and all of these things.
Yeah,
because remember,
we shouldn't care about that, because you would not care about what you don't. You can't miss what you don't know.
but
If
what
you get
if?
my point.
But what if you are curious?
So we were living our lives,
Yeah.
right? We're living our lives and moving on as individuals, as human beings in our own different climes and villages before they came. So they brought their lifestyles, their language, and all of that's how we know that those things existed in the first place. We had our lives. The reason why I'm bringing this angle because we're talking about mental slavery,
Yeah.
right? And then they left part of them, their culture, their way of life with us, and then we are carrying on with it. I'm saying that if colonization was that bad, right, and then there are certain things that we're gaining from it, and we're holding on to the exposure, as you say, and the good part of it, and then the other side we say let's discard. Are they not two sides of the same coin?
Sorry, can you say that again? Sorry, please.
We're speaking English now,
Yeah, right.
right? Because the people came and taught us their language.
Yeah.
Right. If they didn't come here to teach us this language, of course, we probably would never meet anyway. Right? Probably would never meet anyway. But you would be speaking your language and living your life as a typical Yoruba person. Seems like when we say typical, it has this connotation. As a typical
Yes,
Yoruba
I
person,
yeah.
I would be living my life as a typical Igbo person.
Right.
They said they brought education, modernization, and all the exposure. So when you said the good part of colonization was that exposure to Western world, that's what you said, right? Why do we need to be exposed? Why did we need to be exposed to the Western world?
I feel like it wasn't as if. How am I going to answer this now? Now, it wasn't as if we needed it, or should we put it this way that we didn't. Like I said, it did us dirty and it also did us good, right? So I feel like, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Can we cut?
Yeah, okay. No problem. No problem.
Yes.
We'll take care of that. But
Yeah.
the bad part of colonization, yeah,
The
what would you say that is?
The bad part of colonization, I mean, these people are still exploiting us, right? And they are not just exploiting from our land. They are also still exploiting us. I don't know if you've heard about the word system theory before.
I have not read deep on that.
If you understand the word system theory, you would understand that they really, really did us bad. And it will take time. That is if we ever come out of this. Because whichever way it is, right, we will still find the need to actually fall back on these people. And the actual thing is that you are stealing from us to actually better your lives.
Yeah.
Right? So that we can still end up depending on you.
But now that we've realized what it did, why does that still persist?
It still persists because it's not. It has eaten deep. That's why I said we cannot change it. We can actually have an impact in it, but we can't change it. It will take time. It might even take 100 years. It might take a century, because I mean this is something that has been going on for a very, 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 very long time. To actually pull yourself out of it, it cannot happen in 2, 3, 5, 10 years. It will take time, and it might take a very, very long time. But the end goal is, are we? And the question is, can we ever come out of this?
But I would ask a counter question.
Right.
Do we know that it's a problem?
I feel like
because everybody seems to be fine.
No, everybody does not seem to be fine.
Think about it, like it's in this part of the world, it's a survival thing. As long as I'm better than you, I'm okay. As long as I can eat, I can get a house, buy a car, I'm fine. Why do I need to bother myself with a theory of something that happened so many years ago? Don't you think that some people really do not know that it's a problem?
I do not entirely agree with that.
Think about
because I feel like true, some people might actually not really think that it's their own business, but I mean you really need to consider, you think it's not a problem for you because you are living fine, but you need to consider the people that you would also bring to this world, or to that particular society or that particular community. For instance, if you are in Nigeria and you plan to actually reproduce and multiply, I mean, you will still have kids that they might not have the kind of privilege that you have at that moment. So even if you are thinking about it that's not affecting you right now, think about it that there's a possibility that it might actually affect those that are actually coming behind me. So it's not about a you thing. It's not just about yourself.
But there's a part of it where, should I really bother myself about people that are coming? If I'm gone, I'm gone. When they come, they face their life.
And then that's your own now personal. But I mean,
because
everybody. Yeah, truly. But you also know that not everybody will think like that.
Yeah, but most people would not agree that they are thinking like that, but they're thinking like that. Because think about it. What do I need to do? Why do I need to spend the entirety or the most part of my life worrying about what the people who are coming much later?
No, it's not like you are going to spend your entire life trying to figure out these things. No, not like, okay, are we going to say the people that actually experienced that Lekki massacre, that was the only thing they cared about? But at that moment, they felt there was a need for them to actually come out in mass to protest about this thing that's going on. That because they know that it's affecting them. It's affecting a lot of people, and if it continues to grow, it might get worse to the point that it will become very brutal, that the generations to come might not be able to survive it. So it's not a thing that you spend your entire life trying to figure out.
I like how you put it. They felt that it's affecting them. So I was there, right? I was at Lekki, and I'm one of the people who were not there thinking about how it will affect my generation coming. I was there because I'm here now. it's affecting me.
Perspective. Do you know that?
Exactly. Now, so I don't imagine that because again, I had interactions with people who were there. There's that tiny bit of selfishness. It's not the negative part
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
I get
selfishness
it.
that police people are harassing me. They are harassing us, and we need to do something about it now that we are here. Not because it will continue, because you know why? We are going to get out of the way. The policemen who are harassing us now, are also going to get out of the way. Our children are going to have their own issues to deal with when they arrive here.
True.
Do you get? Because I say that to say that there are people we talk about to say that they are heroes, that they paved ways. Meanwhile, some of those things that they did that we are benefiting from
Was actually
might just be
beyond
unintended
intended.
consequences.
Yeah.
They did those things for themselves. It just happens to benefit us
Right.
that we're coming. The people who sold their relations into slavery, it was because of what they were going to gain at the time.
Yeah.
They experienced it, they enjoyed it, and they are gone. Our so-called leaders now are carrying on the transactions that they are carrying on with. That's why the politicians will borrow money and steal it. Because they don't care who is coming to pay the debt.
True.
They are going to be gone
True.
by the time the next
So
people
there are
come.
two sides to this thing actually.
Which is the reason why, as you say, it might take a longer time. Because there's the ignorant aspect of it. Some people can be ignorant and not know that they are ignorant, which is a very powerful one. That's why I asked, do they really know that it's a problem? Because as long as we are fine, in Nigeria now, if you ask pick 10 random people and ask them, they just want the basic necessities of life. They just want to survive.
I mean, that's why some people relocate. Though.
Yeah, exactly. They'll tell you it's not me that will fix the country. As long as it's okay for them.
Well, that's the thing I was saying about the word system theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, you feel like you can no longer survive. So at the end of the day, cheap labor, you go to their country.
Yeah.
They make your country so tight, so difficult for you to survive in that you think that the next thing for you to do is for you to leave your own country to go to them. Then you work tirelessly there, only for you to earn peanuts. And at the end of the day, there's still racism, you still face racism, you still face all of that. So at the end of the day, like I said, it will take a long.
So where do we start? What's the beginning?
Like I said, we need to start from the roots.
Yeah, but I think that we need to start with enlightenment. Because if you don't know
because
that
at the end, because at the end of the day, you need to start by by knowing your own identity. Then you now get enlightened on it. Then when as you grow, you tend to understand things better. Right? You tend to think better. Then you can now come to your own conclusion on how to actually go about it the right way.
That's the reason why having this conversation is important, right? Because it would expose people to know that, we have a problem that I didn't know about. And
right.
Because when you talk about going to the root, it won't just be you and I.
Definitely.
It means that there are people in our generation, in our age range, who are supposed to know that this is the problem, who would then communicate it or pass it to the next people that might be able to implement it if we cannot.
Yeah.
So I think that enlightenment is important. A lot of people are educated, but they are not enlightened.
Yes.
So
and that's part of ignorance.
It is. I think I would say it's a bigger kind of ignorance because there's an expectation.
Ignorance is actually worse than illiteracy.
Exactly. There's an expectation of you when you said you are educated and then you are not enlightened enough. You don't even know who you are as a person. I think it's a continuous conversation that we need to be having. Yeah. Mental slavery is a thing. But one thing I have unsubscribed from is blaming the colonizers. I think that every other thing that's happening now is us. People who colonize us, they are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are gone. We are here now. Because if they remove the chain from you and you still act like the chain is there, that's a problem really. You agree with that? So I think we'll do more of educating ourselves because you spoke to a project you would want to do. you know.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about having national, or a time where we may be able to have national
Cultural day.
cultural day. And I'm saying before that happens, because we can't wait for that to happen, right? There's also the part of willingness to make these things done. Because the people who are supposedly leading us, some of them don't even know that there's a problem. It is we on this side, and someone like you who is very passionate about it. I am too, but I'm saying you because you are the subject of this conversation, right? It's
Right.
so you can be able to get more people, like a tribe thing. Each one teach each one. You spread it like a gospel, and then the conversation continues, and people begin to understand that, yeah, it is true. It is true. Not in the negative sense that what they did to us, because really they are gone.
Yeah, because there's no
Yeah.
need to, there's no need to cry over spilt milk.
They are gone. And if they didn't do to us what they
We need
did
to
to
find a
us, we
way to
probably
clean it
won't
up.
have an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the
So
advantages of this whole thing.
Thank you very much.